Hey everyone, it's Nick from Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. I hope you're doing well and having a good start to 2019. I wanted to do a little special today because I'm out at the greenhouse in Snohomish, as you can see, in Cascade Tropicals. And I wanted to show you a few plants that were ranked by NASA as best for cleaning the air and promoting indoor air quality for your home. Okay, so first off, we're going to start with the peace lily, or Spathiphyllum. Take a look here at the wonderful leaves there. So what environment do these guys live in typically? They grow in rainforests typically, and they hang out on the forest floor where they can get some dappled sunlight from above. In terms of watering and your watering schedule, you want to keep these guys evenly moist. You don't want to overwater them and keep them drenched, but make sure that the top layer of soil is always a little bit moist. If you ever are underwatering, you'll notice because the leaves will start to droop, and in some cases, these blooms will get a little bit brown. So that's how you know if you're underwatering. For sunlight, the peace lilies are tolerant of a range of conditions. You want to ideally have bright indirect light, but they're also tolerant of any kind of shade, right? Because they grow in the rainforest on the floor. So they're used to having the canopy above them for a little bit of shade. One thing to note, if you want to make sure you have a lot of blooms, is the more light you have, the more they will bloom. Another point to make is that you don't want to have them in a south-facing window. That's the worst place to have them because the leaves can actually burn if you have direct sunlight. So any east or west-facing window will do. Moving on, I'm going to talk a little bit about the aloe plant. I wanted to move a little bit closer so you could see the detail on this guy. What you need to know about aloe is that soil-wise, you want a well-draining soil. Any kind of cactus or succulent soil, you don't want any standing water in this because if you're thinking about it, these are all filled with water and the roots are also filled with water. So any extra water there could make them rot. Sunlight for the aloe. They do well in a variety of conditions, but we usually recommend bright indirect light. In that sense, you're treating them like a supplement. In terms of improving the air quality, this is on the list that I mentioned earlier from NASA in terms of top plans for improving air quality indoors. And the reason is because it takes benzene out of the air, which is used in a lot of cleaners that you use in your household. Moving on, I'm going to talk a little bit about these snake plants, which are also known as mother-in-law's tongue or the Sansevieria. What you need to know about these guys is that they're really nice in any conditions indoors. I actually have a couple at home just because they clean the air so well and are super nice with any kind of indoor decor. So what kind of light do you want to give the snake plants? They're actually very easy. They can do well in almost any lighting condition. That's why they're so popular. They're one of the most low light tolerant plants. So I actually keep it in a bathroom in my house because it really doesn't need a lot of light to grow. A fun fact about the snake plant is that there are about 70 species out there in the world. A lot of them are grown naturally in the environment, that is, in parts of Africa and Madagascar and some parts of southern Asia. It's actually used for a variety of purposes. One of the main purposes being basket weaving and using the fibers to create baskets. In terms of watering schedule for the snake plant, you want to make sure that the soil is drying out completely in between waterings. Go ahead and water it thoroughly when you are watering it so the water's coming out of the bottom of your tray through the drainage holes. The reason why you want to make it dry completely before watering again is that if you do have it being evenly moist all the time, the roots are prone to rot. Last but not least, we have this beautiful spider plant. You might have seen this in a lot of homes. That's because it's another very popular house plant. Soil-wise, for the spider plant, you want to make sure you have any soil that is well-draining. That is the key, well-draining. For light, this guy does best in bright indirect conditions, but also will grow well in partial shade and is tolerant to slightly shady conditions. Watering schedule. How much do you need to water the spider plant? For this guy, you want to make sure that the first 2 inches of soil are going to be drying out between waterings, especially in the winter. Another bonus of the spider plant is that these little bulbs coming off, you can actually use them as a housewarming gift. You can just clip off the little babies at the ends, provided that they have roots coming out of the bottom. Clip it off, plant it in another planter, and that can actually become a plant for your friend. Light-wise, these do well in any kind of bright indirect conditions, but they are also tolerant of low light situations as well. So they're very versatile as an indoor house plant. In terms of air purifying features, the spider plant will take out formaldehyde, carbon monoxide, and other toxins from the air, just like the other plants I mentioned in the NASA study. One of the things you might be wondering is, hey, how are these plants not getting poisoned if they're breathing in formaldehyde, benzene, all these other chemicals in your house? The reason is that they actually take the toxins and they turn them into harmless byproducts like salt and water. So the plants are not getting harmed at all by doing this. You're just reaping the benefits. Another thing you might be wondering is, hey, do I need to have a whole forest in my house in order to purify the air? The answer is no. You really only need a few. So in the NASA study I mentioned earlier, they actually took a look at typical homes or apartments with 8 to 9 foot ceilings, and they found that you really only need 2 small houseplants per 100 square feet of the rooms. All right guys, that's all for today. Peace out from Peace, Love, and Happiness Club. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you want to check out any other of our plant series, taking a look at low light plants, plants for your pets, any other plant questions you got, take a look at the links below. We've got everything in the description. Thank you so much for watching.